In 1966, an icon of animation, cinema, theme parks, and general pop culture was lost when Walt Disney died at the age of 65. He became that icon against all odds. An ambulance driver during World War I, his career as a cartoonist seemed over when he lost the rights to his hit character Oswald the Lucky Rabbit in 1928. But he rebounded by creating Mickey Mouse, and when his first feature film Snow White became a phenomenon in 1937, his legacy was assured. By the 1950s, his brand was global, with animation, live-action feature films, theme parks, and television shows. At the time of his death, Disney's net worth, adjusted for inflation, was estimated to have been around $1 billion. But all that money didn't help his health. During his service in World War I, he had begun to smoke, a habit that he couldn't kick, but one he tried to hide from the public eye over the years. Disney's smoking habit reflected a deep internal struggle, as he was aware of how being seen with cigarettes could affect the public's perception of him and his work. This apparently got to the point where, according to insiders, many photos of Disney holding a cigarette were airbrushed to erase it from his hands. His smoking habit persisted for decades, and even after smoking cigarettes was definitively identified as a source of cancer in the 1950s, he could not give them up. He did make moderate attempts to find alternatives, such as smoking cigarettes with lower levels of nicotine, but nothing stuck. Instead, his efforts to hide his smoking habit from the public increased. He never attended any meetings where the health hazards of smoking were discussed. He often hid in remote locations in or near the parks to smoke, and he was even seen breaking off the filters of the filtered cigarettes his daughters had pleaded with him to use. The vice, as Disney called it, left him with, among other things, a terrible cough that had the potential to completely halt meetings. When the end came, though, it arrived quite suddenly and unexpectedly. Disney had no plans to slow down, telling an interviewer in 1963,
"The way I feel today, I feel like I can still go on being a part of this thing after 40-some-odd years in the business."
But in 1966, Disney saw a doctor in the hopes of treating a long-standing neck injury from polo, a sport that he was passionate about until that very injury forced him to quit. When the x-rays came back, they showed that he had a far more pressing issue, a tumorous mass on his left lung. Almost immediately, he began to receive extensive care, which consisted of various pharmaceuticals, cobalt treatment, and surgery to remove the lung. While the operation was successful, the extreme physical stress from treatment left Disney incredibly weak. Plus, there was no guarantee that the cancer had not begun to spread elsewhere. In late November, he needed to return to the hospital after briefly leaving to meet with relatives. He would remain there for the little time he had left. Walt Disney died on December 15th, and while the official cause of death was accurately attributed to circulatory collapse, official press releases from the Disney Company tended to gloss over what led to his death, namely smoking. The company appears to have maintained a sort of unspoken non-acknowledgement policy in the years since. Park employees, for instance, are instructed to point with two fingers. According to rumor, this is done at least in part to normalize Disney's two-finger pointing in photos where his cigarette has been removed. Additionally, when Tom Hanks portrayed Walt Disney in 2013's Saving Mr. Banks, he was prepared to accurately depict the entrepreneur and his addiction. Yet the actor claims he was prevented from doing so, allegedly because the company did not want to promote smoking, though it was probably also to save face. The most that was shown was a brief shot of Hanks as Disney putting out a cigarette. A tragic end for a legendary figure that sadly could have been avoided if only the true dangers of smoking had been discovered sooner. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.